Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We're on a number of affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are on Ganga FM in Jirapa, A1 and Dreams FM in Bogatanga. We are on Castle FM in Cape Coast, and then also on Sun City Radio in Keta. We are live on X Spaces. We are on Facebook and myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Soul, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Soul is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duro Plus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes, and water tank. Where Dura Plus goes, water flows. This afternoon, time running out for families of 4 fishermen thought to have drowned after their canoe capsized in the Ada estuary. The search is on 24 hours after the incident.
So we are there, we are trying to save those who cannot swim well. We are trying to save them. We are trying our best as much as possible. As we are many, we can't save anybody. We are 11 in the boat, and we have rescued 10, and one of us has missing.
We're live in the area as anxious families wait for news of their families who remain missing. Now, Environmental Protection Agency proposes a multi-sectoral committee to develop a policy to address the high levels of lead in cooking utensils and other consumer items.
The EPA will then move ahead and recommend that a high-level multi-sector ministerial committee may consider to develop a lead prevention and reduction policy for Ghana.
Now, that follows fresh revelations that Daddy Seng and other cookware have high levels of the substance. We'll also tell you how the deteriorating air quality is compounding the struggles of sensitive groups, especially those living with asthma.
It's not easy. It's a difficult moment, especially something that relates to your breath. You can't breathe. I use my inhaler almost every day.
And the day is finally here as the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair. I'll take you live to the Tema Metropolitan Assembly for the opening ceremony today. In sports,
after 97 days, the Ghana Premier League is finally back.
And this is our own. Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again.
Well, we wait for that, and it's also been described as question of the day. Will you consider gaining a visa to hustle abroad or accepting $20,000 to remain here in Ghana?
In this Ekufado's economy, if you give me $1 million, I will still travel outside.
I will leave this country. In fact, don't give me anything. It means I want to leave.
I'll not use it to go back to somebody's country to develop it.
Amazing responses. You want to stay with me for that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's start off this morning from Ada, this afternoon I should say, from Ada, where anxious families are sitting on tenterhooks awaiting news of their families who've been missing since a canoe carrying 19 fishermen capsized in the Ada estuary. A total of 19 fisherfolks were in the 2 canoes involved in the incident. It's been 24 hours since the incident occurred, but 4 remain missing after a joint NADMO Navy team managed to rescue 15. We'll take you to Ada shortly, but first listen to the Ada East Director of NADMO, Ebenezer Nate, giving an update to my colleague Kwame Yanka.
Out of the 11 people on board from the first boat, we realized 10 people were saved. So 1 was missing since morning. And the second boat, which had 8 people, as at 5 p.m., the number of people that were saved was 2, and then 6 were missing, making 7 people. But the latest information I just had was that 2 people were found in a community called Pongpokope just after the estuary. This community is around the sea, so the people forced themselves and then landed safely. There were other 2 people who were found at a community called Kwaveme at Water Region. They are also at one of the hospitals receiving treatment.
Well, so that's the Ada East Director of NADMO, Ebenezer Nate, there interacting with my colleague Kwame Yanka. He joins us live from the community as well. Kwame, so what exactly are the official figures? We know that initially 19 fishermen were on that particular canoe that capsized. What's the latest figures that you're getting?
Okay, so Emefa, nothing has changed. So the number stands at 15, and 4 more are yet to be found.
Okay.
So when we were about to move, I think the sea is more rough. But after turning back, the sea is rough. So we choose to wait until it comes down. We wait too. But after when we are coming, like the outboard good off, so the water enter into the outboard. So we can't do anything anymore. So we are there. We are trying to save those who cannot swim well. We are trying to save them we have tried our best as much as possible. As we are many, we can't save anybody. We are 11 in the boat, and we have rescued 10, and one of us is missing. Yes, we swim and we try to rescue those who cannot swim well. We rescue them, and we swim with them together so that we can all survive. That's what happened.
Do you know what happened to the other boat then? We understand.
The other boat?
Yes.
Okay, I can't say nothing much because their boat were capsized before we came, so I can't say nothing much about it.
Okay.
Now, Kwame, thankfully, you've been also reacting to other family members and residents of the area. What exactly is the talk?
Okay, so Emefa, families of fishers yet to be found are anxious as to whether their relatives would make it alive or otherwise. And this is also reflective in the general mood of residents in Adan. Now, I have been speaking to captain of one of the boats, Gabriel Kwame. He shared how he had to muster courage and lead his crew to safety and was prepared to die. He was prepared to die with them should their efforts fail, because he felt like as a leader, should anybody die as a result of the accident, he could be blamed in the long run. So he was ready to equally sacrifice his life and then for all of them to make it to safety. So we can take a lesson, Emefa.
The first boat, we were able to retrieve the boat, including their machines, the nets, but they were badly destroyed. It means that they have to do a lot of repair work on it before they will be able to use it. But the second boat, which is the Barcelona, we are not able to find the boat and everything. I mean, their outboard motors, their nets. So we are also giving ourselves up to tomorrow morning. Maybe the boat can go and land somewhere. So we are using this opportunity to tell all people living around the coast that this is what has happened. So in case they may come across a fishing boat, net, outboard motors, they can report these things to Ghana Police Service anywhere along the coast.
That's sadly the situation in Ada, and you've been hearing from my colleague Kwame Yanka there, interacting with the Ada East Director of NADMO, Ebenezer Nate. We're watching that story closely for you. There's more on myjoyonline.com. Now, the governing New Patriotic Party says he has filed a complaint with the Electoral Commission over some faulty registration equipment across the country. Hundreds of first-time voters have been left stranded and frustrated in many registration centres due to faulty equipment and the slow pace of registration. In the northern region, many eager eligible registrants have been queuing for days, and in the Tamale Metro Centre, only 72 people have been enrolled onto the register since Tuesday due to challenges with the equipment. Here's a report filed by our Northern Regional correspondent, Martina Bugri.
The limited registration exercise in the northern region capital Tamale continues to witness very long queues at the two offices of the EC in the regional capital. At the Tamale Metro EC offices, some of the residents told Joy News they've been to the center since the first day and are yet to get the chance to have their names captured.
I came yesterday and I arrived around 8:30. The assembleman who gathered us in a bus and brought us here, the queue was not going in an order, and we didn't like that.
This is our third day of coming here. It didn't go well for us at all.
Since day one of this registration, we have been working with only one electoral area. On the first day, we were able to register only one person for Tamale South constituency. The following day, that was the day 2 yesterday, we registered 31 people. And the electoral area we are dealing with has about 760 something people.
But the Tamale Metro EC Director Bismarck Inti says they have seen some level of improvement after new machines were delivered.
The first 2 days we had serious challenges here. As for the first day, it was terrible. We were able to register 5 people. As at now, the keys are working very well.
At the Sanergu Registration Center, where the Tamale North and Sanergu constituents are registering, the situation is not different.
Since 5 a.m. in the morning that we came, still we haven't gotten any registration yet.
They told us that there were directives for them to switch to the online process, and that is very, frustrating. The online is not really going well with us. So
the Sanergu District Electoral Commission Director, Fadila Tumahama, said they encountered some challenges the first day, but the situation has been normalized.
The first day, I can say we had some few challenges with regards to the network, but since yesterday and today, I think the network has been stable and we are working.
Meanwhile, some applicants in the limited voter registration exercise in their Sokore Mampo municipality have had to pass the night at registration centres. They resorted to the early arrival after days of failing to complete registration. The applicants have had to compete with political party agents who use stones and other objects to seat in queuing for their prospective electorate. Nanaya Ojima was at the Electoral Commission's office to observe the hassle of the applicants and file this report.
It's a few minutes past 3 a.m. A little cold as the dawnlight rains get heavier. The gates of the Electoral Commission's office at Askorimampong remain closed, but in front of the gate are stones and chairs lined up. Each stone represents an applicant. The bench stands for at least 3 people. With time, some people who came in attempted to form another queue of humans, but this would not be accepted by those who had kept awake with the stones and chairs in the queue.
I am a branch organizer for my political party. I am bringing my party members to register. That is why I came this early to queue for them. I could have slept in my house. I was here when you brought your children to queue. I even offered them seats. How do you come and skip our queue here?
Do you know when we came, it was around 3 a.m. The assembly member came after 5 a.m. and wants to skip the queue.
Many are left frustrated, spending hours in queue since the beginning of the exercise. Some applicants have queued for at least 2 days, yet have not been successful. The few ones who were fortunate enough to get registered after the second day shared their frustration. Figures available to Joy News indicate the Electoral Commission is unable to meet the daily target of 300. About 80 applicants were registered on the first day. Less than 300 applicants were successful in the second and third days of the exercise. The number of applicants continue to rise as efforts by interest groups to get the EC increase the registration centers are yet to yield results. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Well, the Deputy NDC General Secretary Mustafa Gbande says the continuous breakdown of registration equipment in their stronghold is frustrating. He's urging the EC to immediately fix the situation.
What is happening is that in terms of operations, where there are faulty machines or broken down machines, some of those machines are moved to the regional capitals for either replacement or repair. There are places that the registration is very slow. And most of these places, coincidentally, when we check, you realize that the breakdowns are actually coming from places that are NDC strongholds. I mean, we know this because data gives you which political party wins in a particular area or the other.
Do you sense that it may be deliberate to send faulty machines to places that the data shows are NDC strongholds, or this is just probably a mere coincidence?
You are free to remove the word may. It is very deliberate. This is all the EC have been about. It is all about voter suppression. It's all about let's get few people to register from the hinterland, because the fewer the
the numbers, the easier the manipulation.
Well, we can now hear from the Deputy NPP General Secretary Haruna Mohammed, who says the NPP have filed a complaint with the EC over the equipment breakdown. He, however, says it is false for the NDC to claim there's a scheme to suppress votes in their strongholds.
In some areas, it has been very smooth. In other areas, we have seen the slow pace of the machines that they are using for the registration, for which the NPP as a party is worried with that particular space. We have made official complaint to the Electoral Commission.
What would you say to the NDC if they claim that the EC is probably sending faulty equipment to places that they win and places that they believe are their strongholds?
They should stop whining and they should stop pointing the fingers to people, just like people here and there. Yes, we know that is the job of opposition, but you must do that very responsibly. These are machines. Even their phones, the phones they use sometimes disappoint them. These are machines that we constantly have to be working on. What we have to encourage is to make sure that the Electoral Commission put on standby their technicians to ensure that these machines are resolved quickly as possible.
That's the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission had earlier told Joy News these challenges are normal and will be addressed before the registration process ends in October. Dr. Sribo Kweku is Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission.
If you check the hiccups yesterday as compared to today, you read that the problems have gone down drastically. And it is normal, all those people that I have talked to, what I told them that we are doing this exercise for 21 days. And basically, the first 3 days, you have the challenges, then you are addressing them. And by the time you finish with the third day, the system will have been smoothing. So all that is happening is normal. The challenges will start, and you'll be able to address them. One issue that we should also understand is that for 3 years, our officials have not been using the machine, so it affects their speed, and they make small mistakes that they are corrected.
Well, we also know that this afternoon, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, will visit a number of EC registration centers in the Greater Accra region. My colleague, Kweku Asante, is joining the team for this particular visit. Kweku, what are we learning?
We understand John Dramani Mahama will be first at the Electoral Commission office at 1 p.m. He's expected to address the concerns that the NDC have with this registration process so far. He will also go to Adenta, La, and Tema, where he's expected to interact with first-time voters and assure them that the NDC is going to fight until the EC probably decentralize the process. But the first spot will be at the EC head office, where we expect some engagement to go on with the EC officials for that NDC's concerns to be put across to management.
That's my colleague Kweku Asante monitoring and that expected visit of the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama. Well, still update on the 18-year-old Precious Ayita and her lawyer's inability to serve EC chairperson Jean Mensah. We've been hearing from Nick Papu Samwado today, and he says they will go to all length, even if it is through substituted service, to serve the contempt suit on EC chairperson Jean Mensah as well as her deputies. Let's go on to some other stories and focusing on the environment. And with nearly 3 million non-communicable diseases since the last 3 years alone, asthma ranks third, trailing only hypertension and diabetes in Ghana. Even more concerning, more than 36,000 new asthma cases emerged between January and June this year. For these sensitive individuals, worsening air quality due to vehicle emissions compounds their struggles. In our first report on air pollution's impact, we follow Ruben, an asthma sufferer for 17 years, illustrating the grave consequences of deteriorating air quality.
In Accra, the familiar sight of cars trapped in a gridlock is an everyday occurrence. However, an unsettling reality accompanies this urban tableau. A cloud of thick plumes of toxic fumes emanates from many of these vehicles. These harmful emissions infiltrate the lungs of millions, regardless of age, with lethal consequences that unfold over time. For many residents, particularly those with heightened sensitivity, this smog is gradually transforming from annoyance into a genuine menace and silently causing harm, with thousands paying the price for every breath they take. Ruben Alexander Otu knows this all too well.
It's not easy. It's a difficult moment, especially something that relates to your breath. You can't breathe.
Ruben, like many Ghanaians, had to board commercial public transport to their destination.
Smoke from their exhaust pipes, very bad, and they are not the best.
The journey is far from comfortable, and with the emission of poisonous gas from the carbon-fueled engines, not even his nose mask can save him.
I was in a private vehicle with a colleague, and there was a trotro nearby in which they were really polluting the air with smoke. So I pleaded with my colleague to roll his glasses and on the AC so that it wouldn't be having so much effect on me. Yes, so I do experience that a lot.
Asthma is a global concern. In Ghana, the impact of asthma on non-communicable diseases is striking. From January to June 2023 alone, 36,780 new asthma cases have emerged.
I use my inhaler almost every day.
For Ruben, nobody cares, not even the policymakers. This time, he wants something to be done about the degrading quality of air.
Regulations are not being put in place to ensure that people like myself are well protected.
For those particularly sensitive to these changes, the air has become an unwelcome adversary rather than a source of life. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
And that's our first report on air pollution's impact. Now, as part of efforts to deal with lead exposure, the Chief Executive of the Environmental Protection Agency is working with other ministries to produce a lead prevention policy. The organization is also scaling up education to increase knowledge on the dangers of lead. Executive Director of the EPA, Dr. Henry Kwabena-Kokofu, has been speaking at a press conference in Accra.
The EPA will then move ahead and recommend that a high-level multi-sector ministerial committee comprising of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, etc., may consider the establishment with the support of Pure Earth and UNICEF to develop a lead prevention and reduction policy for Ghana. And this one it's already discussed with my sector minister, but I think it's a matter for the public to know that we are not taking these steps at our level alone, but at the higher level, at the national level, something concrete will be happening soon. So to buttress whatever efforts at the regulatory level we are doing. Some of these things will have to come up, and they will form basis of education and awareness strategy for communication to the public on this very important subject.
Henry Kwabena-Kokofu taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, sponsored by Petrosol. Your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. And Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. We've been to Ada, where time is running out for families of 4 fishermen thought to have drowned after their canoe capsized in their Ada estuary. The search is on 24 hours after the incident. We return from the break with sports, and then also whether you consider gaining a visa to hustle abroad or accepting $20,000 to remain in Ghana.
In this Ekufado's economy, if you give me $1 million, I will still travel outside. I will leave this country. In fact, don't give me anything. It means I want to leave.
I will not use it to go back to somebody's country to develop it.
And then the apology that's got many talking.
I ask for your forgiveness. My name is Ajua Safo, the Member of Parliament for the good people of Domin Parliament. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports. Mubarak.
Yep, Emefa, after 3 months and 5 days, the Ghana Premier League is back, and the race to defend the trophy begins today in Tamale, where Hearts of Oak face Royal Tamale United under new head coach Martin Koopman. There are several matches to look forward to this weekend, and here is a wrap from my colleague Razak Musbao.
On Saturday, Great Olympics play host to Bofokatano at the Accra Sports Stadium. Then on Sunday, we'll see 5 fixtures take place as Brecum Chelsea face Bibiani Gold Stars at the Golden City Park in the Bono region. Now, Legon Cities, who suffered a tragic loss of their first choice goalkeeper Sylvester Saki, will welcome Karela United at the Accra Sports Stadium. Then, Ahafu region side Bechem United will make a trip to Nana Professor Koromansa II Park to face Maxwell Kunedus in Sonchoman Football Club. Now, Summertex will host 2-time champions Sediana Stars, while Giant Kumasi Santikotoko, led by Prosper Nate Ogum, will face Heart of Lions at the Babaya Sports Stadium.
That's Razak Musbao and the matches to look forward to this weekend in the Ghana Premier League.
Thank you very much, Musbao. Mubarak for the latest from the world of sports there. Now, I will talk about the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair happening today. But first off, though, in the face of challenging economic conditions in Ghana, a growing majority of Ghanaians are actively seeking opportunities to fulfill their dreams abroad, often facing uncertainty about the types of jobs available. Well, today on the Super Morning Show, the key question was whether you would pursue a visa to hustle abroad or prefer $20,000 to stay in Ghana.
In this Ekufado's economy, if you give me $1 million, I will still travel outside.
So I would say that I'll use the money to stay in Ghana. I'll not use it to go back to somebody's country to develop it.
Again, hustle, because I think I can make more than that.
I will leave this country. In fact, don't give me anything. It means I want to leave.
Yes, I prefer moving out of the country to hustle because I think it's prudent and it is the only way that you can get a prosperous life to live in Ghana. $20,000 in Ghana is woefully inadequate to live a really financially stable life. So going out, hustle 2 or 3 years, you're going to get more than $20,000 and live a better life.
Well, so that's some of your comments there on the Super Morning Show earlier today. And all roads lead to the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. And for many, they've been concerned about security. And those of you, just like me, who would want to own a home this year, we're heading to the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair in Tema later today. And we are told it's raining discounts amongst others and all that. We'll be hearing from my colleagues on the ground shortly, but we've also been talking about this apology that's actually got many people talking in Ghana today. And well, we know also that home security is a concern, but we'll be getting you more from the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair shortly on this. But let's listen to some concerns that have been raised.
With a focus to empower homeowners to fortify their homes against intruders, while granting you an elegant walk-in safety and home solutions, offers cutting-edge exterior and interior security doors. From bulletproofs, French doors, you name it, and you are sure safety and home solutions will produce to your specification. I met with Ravi, the technical works manager at their showroom.
As you can see, is in the different sizes, double door, single door, 1.5 door, depend on the requirement. This is, the dimension is 1.8 cm by 2.1 cm.
Okay.
So it opens like this. Both we have left hand open and the right hand open, right? It works on a locking system, which we call as central locking. Here it locks 3 times. So this is the basic idea of our door, which meets the full security aspects for individual's house.
Now, how many types of security doors do you have?
Generally, we have 3 or 4 types of security doors, in which we have the sizes also, single, 1.5, double. In all this was the glass finish, what I showed you just now. This one is the embossed wood finish. When it's come in the contact with the rain, with the sun, any atmospheric problem, any environment, these doors can withstand. And this is a galvanized metal steel door which is made up of 15 mm gauge thickness of metal sheet.
If you're security conscious and may want a bulletproof door, Safety at Home Solutions has you covered.
And you know where to be this weekend from today, 15th September, all the way to 17th. That's on Sunday for the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. And before we go, we know about the apology that's got many of you talking, especially on social media. I'll leave you with that.
I wish to state that I'm sincerely sorry. I apologize for my actions and inactions. None of my actions were intentional, deliberate, or calculated to bring disrepute to our great party. I was going through a lot as a mother and as a woman. I want to take this opportunity to ask for your forgiveness for anything untoward that I have done to bring the name of the party into disrepute. As the saying goes, to err is human and to forgive is divine. I ask for your forgiveness. My name is Apawu Safo, the Member of Parliament for the good people of Emefa. Thank you and God bless you all.
And that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News. And just before we go, we are learning that one out of the 4 fishermen that has gone missing, we're told, has been found, and unfortunately he's been found dead. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensel Tabel up next. I am Emefa Apawu. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.